Good morning, everyone. I'm Riley King, and welcome to the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. Let's begin. First up, new details emerge about driver of small bus that crashed on I-95. Let's take a listen to the video from WMUR News 9, Jennifer Crompton.
In today's world, building a stronger community can make a difference. At Catholic Medical Center, we believe
New Hampshire State Police aren't elaborating on the medical event that caused the driver of this 14-passenger van to veer off Interstate 95 in Greenland and crash into trees on Friday. But in the wake of the crash, they did say how lucky everyone was that the 21-year-old driver, 2 counselors, and 10 children from the Kittery Community Center's Summer Safe program weren't more seriously injured. As their investigation continues, some are asking the question, could a person with a history of motor vehicle violations, who in his own words has a seizure disorder and is battling an alcohol problem, drive a van filled with children? In this case, court filings point to an answer of yes. York County, Maine court records show that as recently as August of 2016, then 19-year-old John Guy was charged with driving to endanger and driving after license suspension. In a letter to the court less than 2 weeks ago, Guy references dealing with an alcohol problem. And in another, in 2016, after missing a court date, he writes, "When I was first diagnosed with epilepsy, I noticed that my grand mal seizures had begun to affect my memory." It's not clear what medical condition caused this crash, but the case sheds light on a more general point, that while medical clearance is required for a commercial driver's license, that would include a bus with 16 passengers or more, it's not required for a standard Class C license, which is all that's required to drive a 14-passenger van, even one filled with children. The town of Kittery has just released a press release. It says they've reviewed the hiring records of the Summer Safe program and can confirm that background checks were done on all employees, including John Guy. The release says that they use an online service and are now investigating why its background check did not accurately reflect Mr. Guy's history. Reporting live in Kittery, Maine, Jennifer Crompton, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Man threatened to kill hostages in apartment apparent prank, police say. Let's take a listen to the video from WCVB, Boston.
for those who thirst for more, Coors Light is colder, cleaner, and crisper. Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer.
So I saw a whole SWAT team.
13-year-old Kiva Convery and her family found their house surrounded last night. Police rushed in, believing they were dealing with the gunman threatening to kill hostages.
They had 8 hostages. He's going to kill them all in 10 minutes. Wants $10,000.
The truth, Kiva and her family were being swatted by a stranger she met on the internet on an app called House Party.
He just kept threatening us. He was like, "Oh, I know everything about you," and he just kept calling my house number, and I was so confused how he was doing all of it, and he was like, "I'll get you expelled from your school, and I'll ruin your life."
House Party is a video chat room, but the stranger never showed his face. We spoke to House Party online security. They stressed threats should be reported immediately. They also pointed out there are multiple safeguards in place to ensure that video chats are only between friends. The app also offers locked rooms that allow users to video chat without being joined by additional friends.
I have to make some serious rules about not having her on that app. And I told her I didn't like it. I wanted her off because I was worried about kids bullying other kids, but never thought this would happen. I mean, it's crazy.
Kiva isn't sure who let the prankster in, but she says, lesson learned.
Don't add people you don't know back on strange apps.
So the app's parent company tells me anyone who makes a threat is banned from the site. House Party is not cooperating with local police. We're left.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Lewiston police taking steps to decrease violence. Let's take a listen to the video from WMTW News 8 Maine.
Out there, working hard to make our roads safe. They care.
Maine State Police at the City Council meeting tonight didn't share too many details, but say that it is still an active and ongoing investigation following a brawl earlier this summer at Kennedy Park that later killed a man. This, as one community organizer says, she's trying to look forward and find a way to unite people in this very same park.
It's still very much open and active.
Maine State Police Lieutenant Mark Holmquist and Sergeant Lucas Hare shared with Lewiston City Councilors that they're still waiting for data connected to key electronic evidence in the homicide investigation of Donald Giusti. Giusti died after a brawl in Kennedy Park earlier this summer.
We've put a lot of hours into this case, more so likely than any case that I can remember for the last several years.
Police Chief Brian O'Malley says they've added a 10 p.m. curfew and cameras at Kennedy Park, along with additional officers on foot patrol in areas of the city.
It's been very helpful to have the police who, were extra patrol in the streets here.
Faucia Musi also took to the mic before the council tonight. She asked for and received a permit for a festival for International Youth Day. That annual event will have a bit of a different meaning in the wake of the fatal brawl and other incidents of violence earlier this summer.
We are waiting for. So if we don't have a collective, voices, this is a collective effort to end violence. It takes all of us to voice our concern. But we have to work together. We have to work together. We have to hold each other accountable. We have to take responsibility of things that are not going so good in our community. But we need to work together.
And that International Youth Day will be taking place on August 25th here at Kennedy Park, starting at 11 in the morning until 3 in the afternoon. I'm Mary Kay Mannion, WMTW News 8.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. China's investors are putting their money in a lot of places. That really means stocks. Stocks still rank low on the popularity list for China's investors, while private funds are playing a large role in the country's assets management market, which many predict will soon become the world's second largest. Transgender progressive Christina Alquist wins Vermont governor primary. Let's take a listen to the video from ABC News.
Still here. I thought we fired her.
And are your coworkers a little crazy?
Picture it.
Are you stuck hanging out with your ex and his weird friends because you agreed to curate a meme museum, but you actually hate memes? Just me? Cool.
Can't believe I used to paint your toes.
I can't do this.
And cut. That was perfect.
Okay, and there you go on some of that video. Christina Hallquist, who is running as a progressive Democrat in Vermont, made history on Tuesday as she became the first transgender governor candidate nominated by a major political party. And that does it for the Riley King Newscast right here on the Riley King Network. I hope you all have a great rest of your Wednesday, and I'll see you back here later on today for another newscast. And I'll have a news report coming up in a little bit. Goodbye, everyone.